Welcome to the Thanksgiving Playoff Show. It's the COVER1 Thanksgiving Playoff Show brought to you by All-American Chevrolet of San Angelo. We have tons and tons of games to get to, whether you're talking high school football playoffs or even the Angelo State Rams. We're going to go ahead and give you all the highlights, all the scores, everything you need to know, so stay tuned. But before we get to all the action, I want to bring in the other guys of the action. We'll start with Ryan Chadwick. Chadwick, what's up, man?
How's it going, Matt?
Oh, it's going pretty good. You went to some football games. Was it cold out in Wall the other day?
Oh, we froze. It was a good time, though, overall. It was a good time.
Well, we're going to get into some of that action later, but first, James, you were at Erie County today. It was a little bit better, but how was your Thanksgiving, and how was the Thanksgiving playoff football?
Oh, Thanksgiving football is the best, man. Well, I guess actually December football is the best. But no, we had a good time. We had some good football today.
Yeah, and there's a game that's going on right now in San Angelo Stadium, and that is the Sonora Broncos. And for that, we're going to go ahead and kick it down to Ernesto Rodriguez. Ernesto, take it away.
All right, stage is set for tonight's 2A regional playoffs. Sonora Broncos and the Holly Bearcats are going at it tonight here in San Angelo from San Angelo Stadium. Teams are on the field right now warming up, just getting ready for the matchup. Sonora, who is in red, they are going to be the home team. And the Holly Bearcats are in white, and they are the visiting team. So we're looking forward to a good matchup tonight to see how these teams square off. This is it, win or go home for each team. And Sonora, being the Concho Valley team, is representing the Concho Valley in the Concho Valley here at San Angelo Stadium. So we're looking forward to a good game tonight. Should be exciting under the lights here at the stadium. A little over a minute here in the first quarter. 2nd and 6 at the 44-yard line for Holly. This is their third possession of the game. Quarterback drops back. He looks to his right side. Over the middle and intercepted by Sonora Bronco. And we'll see if he kicks it out of bounds. Broncos have it 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Butron is in shotgun, hands it off. And he's met by the defenders. They are trying to strip it. Still going, has not hit the ground. It looks like he did fumble. It was stripped. And the Bearcats have plenty of room in front of them as they score another touchdown here. And this is in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for the Bearcats at the 24-yard line after the punt return. Throw it in the air. They're still wrestling for it, but he brings it down. Another Bearcat touchdown. 2nd down for the Broncos. Trying to make something happen. Got to get on the scoreboard. And a fumble recovered by the Bearcats. It's now 4th and 6 at the 34-yard line after a block below the waist. Holly has it, and they are going for it. Going to the left side, taking another shot, and it's just caught right by the receiver for a Holly touchdown. Sonora back to the line. It's now 1st and 10 at the 34. Butron hands it off up the middle, and he's got one guy to beat. Continues to go, still on his feet, and he's in for a touchdown. After an incomplete pass, it's now 4th and 15 for Sonora at their 28-yard line. And Holly is back to receive the punt. 2 returners waiting for it. Kick is up. It is touched by a Holly Bearcat, but it looks like the Broncos have recovered. 1 minute to go here in the second quarter. 2nd and goal for the Broncos. Currently down 35-6, trying to get another score. And they're at the 2-yard line. Butron is in shotgun. Takes off to the left, pitches the option to DeLuna, and he's inside for a touchdown, Sonora.
Broncos.
1st and 15 for Holly at the 31-yard line on their side. Tosses it, it's intercepted by Sonora. And it's going to be a goal line. So with 1 second to go here in the second quarter, Broncos got one more shot. It's 2nd and 21 at the 25-yard line. Butron calls for it. He rolls to the left. He has some time. Takes a shot. It is almost caught but dropped. And that will end the second quarter. 38-12, Sonora trailing Holly in this matchup.
All right, 38-12 down there at San Angelo Stadium, but it looks like the Sonora Broncos have a little bit of fight left in them. Started the game really slow, but at the end we got that interception. Almost went down there and scored another touchdown. Threw up kind of a Hail Mary pass, didn't complete it. James, you've been following the Sonora Bronco team closer than anybody else in the Concho Valley this season, so tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking they need to get it together. And I had a lot of time to think. I was driving back from Brownwood, and the Sonora team had to put in a really good game plan, and their players had to play near perfect games because Holly is just that good. Holly is that talented. I went down there and talked to Blake Weston this week and spent some time around the Broncos, and it was a pretty relaxed practice, but they all kind of understood what they had to do, and I kept telling them it didn't matter what Holly was or how good they are because you can't control those things. You just control what you can control because at this point, Holly's just in the way. So, going to halftime, figure out, a little bit here and there. That one fumble where they was all piled up, I don't know why they didn't call that down. I kind of figured they should have. It was piled up for a while, but the refs don't care what I have to say.
Yeah, well, it kind of to me, you kind of stopped the forward progress there. It seemed like maybe call them down. They stripped it either way. It could have been to the house for about 70 yards.
It could have been because I was at, a six-man game earlier where they were blowing the whistle pretty early.
Yeah, definitely. We'll get into that one later. It was almost 30 flags in that game.
Yeah.
Chadwick, what are you thinking when you're seeing this Sonora game so far? I mean, we know Holly's a really good football team, but is there a little hope for the Broncos coming into the second half?
I mean, we've seen Sonora's defense put Holly in fourth down situations multiple times already this game. They're also capable of creating takeaways. They have 2 interceptions already, and they took advantage of that muff punt. Looks like they just need to take care of the ball better on offense. I know that one fumble, say what you want. I hate seeing refs just letting things go too long too. Same thing happened to Central against El Paso, and it pretty much sealed the game for them as well. But with that being said, whenever you got a strong running back who's churning his feet, and you don't want the ref to blow it dead, because sometimes you can get 5 or 6 more extra yards, Right. So it's just one of those. It's really up to the ref's discretion there. But if the Broncos want to get back in this game, they need to score right out of the half, get a stop, and score again. Because if they don't get within 10 by the time it's the fourth quarter, I don't think they're coming back.
Yeah, sometimes you can get 5 or more yards, so sometimes someone can get cut at the knees and get hurt.
Yeah.
So.
Well, either way, the score in that one is 30. No, I'm sorry. What is it?
38-12.
38-12. The Holly Bearcats are one of the best teams. They were in the state championship last year. They won the state championship. Looks like they're going to try to go do it again. Had a lot of juniors. Those juniors are now seniors, so they're kind of tearing it up on old Sonora right now. But Sonora's defense has been strong all playoffs. So, James, is there a chance that maybe we can see a comeback?
Well, I'm looking on Dave Campbell's right now, and it's saying fourth quarter, Holly 44, Sonora 12. So
all right, so there you go.
Just do what you got. Just do the right things now. It's the fourth quarter. I don't know how much time is left, but go out there and just play your game and put positive things together on film so you have something to build on. And hey, you start building some positive things start going your way, put up a few more touchdowns, and I don't know, maybe you pull this one out.
All right, and for his take down there on the field, here is Ernesto Rodriguez.
All right, everyone, it is halftime here at San Angelo Stadium. The band is on the field for Holly as they are the visiting team tonight. Currently, Holly is up 38-12. It has been all Holly through the air. Sonora has been able to score at least 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately, they did not convert on the extra points as they tried 2-point conversions. And one of those 2-point conversion attempts was picked off by Holly, and they took it back, and that's what made the score 38-12. Sonora did have it, and at the end of the first half, with 1 second to go, it was incomplete, and currently it's 38-12. Sonora is trailing, They do have a big mountain to climb here in San Angelo, but hopefully we'll see what happens if they can get it together, get some stops. You never know. This is the playoffs, win or go home. And as it is right now, the home team is trailing. So that's the update right now with a little over 15 minutes to go before the third quarter starts. And I will be getting more highlights coming up, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so Sonora Broncos right now are in some trouble, but nothing is over yet. We got a few more games to get to, but before we do, I want to tell you about the Autoplex's Black Friday sales event. Don't worry, I know Black Friday has come and gone, but at the Autoplex, it is going to be Black Friday until the end of the month. Hurry, this offer ends November 30th. Right now, you can get the 2022 Jeep Renegade Latitude for only 1.9% APR financing for 72 months. And Texas residents get $2,500 in bonus cash allowance. No monthly payments for 90 days when financed through Chrysler Capital. Go see them today. They're at Sherwood Way at Southwest, or of course, you can check it out online at All American Chrysler San Angelo.com. That's the Autoplex, the only place to buy a car. All right, guys, moving on to our next game. James, you were at this one earlier. It was Erie and County. We got the dub. We're moving on another round, but let's check out some highlights. Take it away here.
All right, first things first, this game was very chippy at the beginning of the game. There was a lot of penalties, the whole game there were a lot of penalties. There's probably one drive where there were 4 or 5 penalties, but anyway, you have some good defensive plays, and Erie County ended up playing, they ended up coming back. They were down 9-0 at one point, and they ended up coming back out and
Number 14.
playing pretty good. But yeah, there were a lot of penalties in this one.
So this matchup was between Erie County and Jonesboro. Jonesboro last week, they beat Medina, who was a really good football team. Erie County beat May. They squared up in early. Game was originally scheduled for Friday, had to move it on to Saturday. James, what are you seeing?
Well, on that play where he kind of slung him down, they called they called a face mask on it, one, and then he must have said something. And I think there were 2 penalties on that one that moved him down to within spitting distance of the goal line. And I think at this point they're already down 9-0. But
There's a chunk up right here, an interception by Erie County, taking it back. I mean, got some pretty good yards, set him up in pretty good field position.
That Koffel kid can play too. He is a really good player. And that one, he was kind of playing for a flag on that play. He threw his hands up. What was that? And the ref said it was uncatchable.
Yeah, kind of over his head.
I mean,
Erie County back on defense, breaking some tackles on the other end and scores. I think that one put him up.
That was 15-0. 15-0
at that point.
Or 15-7, I'm not sure. Yeah, he returned the interception, so it was 15-7. And, yep, here you go. That's DeMarcus Akoff in for a score. I mean, Jonesboro really played a good football game, and Erie County had to kind of figure it out how to get back into it.
Yeah, they were down early. They fought back. They were able to get the job done. I mean, this is the reason why. They got athletes all over the field. The guy slinging the rock, the guy catching it. That right there is about a 50-yard run for a score.
Yeah, I think it wasn't a score, but I think it came back.
Came back.
I think there was a penalty on. There were so many plays that came back in this one due to holding calls, and I don't know if it was just a ref crew that wasn't letting anything fly or what.
This late in the playoffs, you kind of want to let them play, but
also Erie County, they can't play like that. They can't have games like that.
Oh, that's a duck right there.
Yeah, threw a duck, got it batted down. Here in the second, coming up in the second half, they'll start really putting it together. But Koffel can play. This is to Bo Morrow. Touchdown to Bo Morrow, who just gets into the edge over there. He's got a really pretty one coming up. I mean,
a lot of people traveled out there from Erie County. Look at all those people in the stands.
Yeah, stands were full.
That's pretty much the whole town of Mertzen out there.
Stands were full. They played,
full on both sides?
Jonesboro side was pretty full too. I mean, and they had a couple of those too that were just a hard snap that he had a hard time getting a handle on. He had to jump for a few of them. Like right there, he just knows that precious second. Another thing, this was a really violent game. I mean, guys were hitting hard. These guys were flying around hard. I haven't.
They want to win this game.
You
man.
can kind of tell when a team is flying around like that there's a different atmosphere in the game, and this was definitely one of those. That's right before halftime. If you look at the clock, there's 21 seconds left. Return for
beautiful pick
for a score.
And isn't that going to put them up at halftime?
No, they were down 15 to 12.
15-12
I think.
halftime score.
I think at halftime, or 15 to 14 at halftime.
They're down by one score.
They're. I think they're down by 1 point going into half. It bounced off the crossbar there.
Squeezed it. Moving on into the second half now. No,
I think this
would
is
be the closing
right
seconds.
before. Yeah, this was the
closing
last
seconds of the half.
the last play before halftime.
Almost broke it away and scored. Now we're past
halftime. That was a touchdown by Loudermilk.
This right here
He
is
had
when Erie
he had
County
a
starts
really
to
good
put it together.
Yeah, this is where they started figuring things out.
Even the kicks look good.
But you can't play like that in the first half though and expect to really win.
Yeah, we're trying to go to Arlington. You know what I mean?
And next week, next week they'll have Abbott, and Abbott they were in the same position last year. Windy, cold. I was pretty miserable, but
the kids loved it though.
no, they played a really good game, and I couldn't understand why. There's probably about, I guess, 5 minutes left, and Erie County had the ball, and I couldn't understand why they weren't trying to run it some. And they were trying to, and they were putting up points, but they were leaving time on the clock.
I just saw that's a lot of laundry.
Yeah, I mean that's only probably half too. I mean there were a lot of flags in this one.
Nice tackle right there behind the line of scrimmage. Looking for somebody. Gonna chunk it up. Nope, gonna make one miss. Still on his feet. Gonna keep it and brought down.
That was Loudermilk. He missed him on the first time and came back and made the play.
Long ball thrown up.
Good defensive. There were a couple of good defensive plays like that where almost caught it, and the Erie County defenders came in and smacked it out.
Puts a little move on him. Another flag.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I sent flag on the play in the group text because there were quite a few of them. There you go, Koffel in again.
Right there.
Coach is something that kid can play, man. He's a really good player.
And if you're a fan of San Angelo Lofts rodeo coverage, you saw a rodeo piece this last year about how him and his son, they still rope and ride the horse there. Competing team roping, father and son. We like to see. Oh man, that 51, that's a big old man right there.
See, and that was the other they threw a flag for late hit out of bounds. They pushed him down, and there you go, good defensive play. But on that late hit out of bounds, I just didn't really agree with that one. But again, refs don't care what I think.
There's a Jonesboro score right there.
That number 11 there, he had a good game. Cisneros.
Yeah, I would say
Cisneros.
Yeah.
He had a really good game.
Right here, just breaking out to the left, going down the sidelines, splitting two, putting yourself in good position to make a score. Now he's looking down there, throws it, catch made, and driving now. This will be one of the drives that's going to put him away. Throws it deep, finds his man, touchdown.
Bo Morrow again. His dad's actually a coach. I talked to him after the game, and he was
That Jonesboro team never quit fighting though.
No, they
all
did.
The way to the very end.
That's this one I'm talking about. I'm looking like, why aren't we trying to eat clock? Why aren't we trying to?
They just want to say, hey,
They put up. They were trying. I understand you maybe trying to get a 2 score lead, so they don't.
This was late, a little onside kick here, and got pretty close to getting it.
And they called illegal touching. I guess their guy touched it first, and they called illegal touching there.
These are only a couple minutes left in the game.
Here's a
We're still
beautiful
throwing
touchdown.
long balls, but that's why, James, right there.
Beautiful touchdown to Bo Morrow. That's like his third touchdown on the day so far.
And then an Erie County onside kick in the late fourth quarter while they're up. Bounced off the guy's chest. Good opportunity to get it, but they were unsuccessful. And Jonesboro is just going to come back down and move the football and score.
Did I send in the... There's a lot of time here.
Was this to win it?
That one wasn't it.
No. Still got another couple seconds here. Erie County driving down the football field. Runs up the middle, makes a couple miss. Chunks it up, kind of a duck. Right off his chest.
Yep, right through his arms, just straight dropped it.
And here's Jonesboro with the throw. Makes a catch. They're still in this thing. That's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown. Okay.
James, explain what happens next.
So Jonesboro lines up for the kick, and they they just missed the kick. They missed it wide right.
Final score?
44-43. But when you have in six-man, a kick is worth 2 points. So that kick would have been for the win. And after the game, I was talking to Coach Morrow, and I guess it was his son or someone else and another person. They're talking about, would you have just gone for one in that instance, looking at it? And it's like, no, you go for the win. You don't play to tie. So.
Exactly, especially if you're talking about a kick.
Right.
Chadwick, what did you think about that highlight reel? I know it's six man. You're used to the big 6As, but you gotta love a lot of scoring. What did you think about that?
I mean, I thought it was pretty awesome. It just kind of reminded me of intramurals, back in college, but people were hitting each other, So
yeah, exactly.
It looked like a lot of fun. Like I was like, man, I want to go out there and play some of that. You know what I mean? So looks like those boys had a lot of fun. Erie County's got a lot of cleanup this week, though, if they expect to make it all the way to Jerry World. But they got the win. Pretty much tried to hand it away, but congratulations, guys. You're moving on. But, yeah, like this week of practice, clean it up, So that team, they have Abbott next, right?
They have Abbott.
Yeah, Abbott won't.
In early.
Yeah, Abbott won't let Erie County get away with those same mistakes. This is a state caliber team as well. They have experience in the final weeks of December. So, like, if you want to keep advancing, clean up that ball game, all right?
Yeah, especially in that first half. I think, that was one of their problems is they started kind of slow, but then they picked it up as the game went on. And then when it really came down to the end, they had it picked up. But then at the same time, James, this game, they should have lost this game, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're talking about you went all the way down to the very last second and then you let them score off an onside that kind of was questionable calling with some kind of, we're not going to run the clock out. We're just going to keep on doing our offense, and then you let them go down to the very end. I mean, what do you think, James? Is there a way that maybe they kind of should have lost this game?
I absolutely think they could have lost at any point. And if you look at that last kick, would have won it for them. But I don't know what the game plan was. Obviously, I don't know what they were trying to. I guess they were maybe trying to go up 2 scores at the end and trying to lock away a win. They also kind of had trouble moving the ball. All those chunk plays that they were scoring on, those were just out of distance. They had a bunch of running plays that didn't go anywhere. They got hit in the backfield, and I mean it was a very aggressive game. It was there were a lot of people getting hit in the backfield, but those chunk plays that you saw were just third down, fourth down, where they're just chunking it, trying to get out of the spot. So. You got to clean it up though, and this isn't anything that Coach Koffel isn't going to tell his team. You got to clean up those instances where you had where you played sloppy, and this is only their 4th year as a six-man school, and they brought him in to help build it up, and they've been successful. They're successful last year. I think they were successful the year before. So you just clean it up some, because once you start getting up into these state caliber teams and these teams that are, Jonesboro was one of them, and you saw it almost happen there. So
yep.
Clean it. I mean, if you don't spot them 9 points, that's a different game. So
very, very true. One good thing is they're going to be going back to early, so at least they're going to be familiar. I know for me, when I played in high school, we always seemed to have our first game in that Fort Stockton area, and mainly at Fort Stockton Stadium. And I know every year was kind of an easy kind of transition because you just go to the same spot and you kind of know it. I know for Central that's kind of the same thing. They always go to El Paso. They know where it's going to be, so it kind of breaks that ease of like we don't know what the stadium's going to look like, what the field's going to feel like, things like that. But Chadwick, do you think there's anything that goes with that if you already know kind of where you're playing at?
I mean, personally, when we already knew we were going to have a long road trip ahead of us back when I was playing for Central, it kind of wasn't as big of a deal as like finding out last minute, hey, we're moving the game to Saturday. So I think that has something to do with how they played this week as well. Their slow start can also be attributed to they were expecting to play on Friday. Weather moved it to Saturday. Weather still stinks on Saturday, but we got to play anyway, right? So moving to next week, going back to early. They've made this road trip before, so yeah, like I definitely think that this can help them being in a stadium they've played in before, and they already know what this trip feels like. If anything, that they'll the coaches will be able to refine that game plan down for game day. But yeah.
James?
All right. I did talk with Coach Koffel after the game, and my phone kind of cut out a little bit through it, but we're gonna let's go see what he had to say about Abbott next week and the win this week. And all right, Erie County head coach Don Koffel got a win here, 44-43. How's it feel to be moving on? You're one game away from state.
Oh, it feels fantastic. It's a pure joyous occasion. Just so thankful we're able to get it done for our community because they backed us so much and they've carried us. And these boys put in so much hard work, as every kid has across the state. Just grateful to be moving on.
He's very grateful to be moving on, and you know what? I think a reason that one of the things that made them start slow, Chadwick, now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably that turkey.
Yeah.
The turkey and the stuffing. What do you
And
think?
turkey.
also, when I talked to those guys, they were just very grateful that I was there. They were very excited that their team was getting. I told them, "Hey, I wish we could cover you more," but they were just grateful and excited for what they did have. So
Absolutely.
Lakeview, take notes.
You would whoa. You could say that they were thankful, and we're talking about turkey and being thankful. Well, if you're not over Thanksgiving yet, call Double Dave's. They've got the Thanksgiving pizza as their pizza of the month. You can get for $12, you can get a medium hand-tossed crust with stuffing, brown gravy, diced turkey, mozzarella, onion, and of course, the cranberry sauce. And I think that's the one with the berries, so it's not, this the jellied canned kind. That's the pizza of the month down there at Double Dave's. Go see him in the Southwest Plaza at Knickerbocker Road in Sunset, or you give him a call or see him online, however you like your pizza ordered. Go ahead and make sure you order it from Double Dave's Pizza. Guys, moving on, Chadwick, you were at the Angelo State game today. That's the game that everyone's been talking about. Usually this is just a high school football show, but we figured today that we would just go ahead and mix it up a little bit. So we decided, hey, let's throw some love to the Angelo State Rams. So you want to go ahead and take over this highlight?
Yeah, let's do it. Right here, at the start of the second quarter, Broncos is going to motion his man out and find Nate Omabayu, and this is going to be ASU's first touchdown of the day. Started a little slow, had a muff punt and a fumble, gave the Beavers Bemidji, I think that's how you say it?
Yeah, kind of
Bemidji
a weird
State,
name.
yeah. But with that being said, ASU's defense was on fire, and by the end of the second, this is right before the half, Broncos finds Omabayu again for his second touchdown of the day. Third quarter right here, drive kind of stalled, but ASU kicks a long field goal, and then the defense just started going nuts, right?
Here's the interception right here.
They had a lot of those in the second half. I think they had 4 interceptions in the second half. That one was by Watson, got all the way down to the 9.
Yeah, that one was a really good one.
This one led to another
also
Fuller field goal. And then the next highlight here, I guarantee, is going to be another interception.
Yeah, I think the next 2 are interceptions. Yep. And this one right here, he takes it back to the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was McCullough Cooper, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, as soon as he caught it, he was in the end zone. That's how fast that guy was, I swear. He was running downhill as soon as he saw that thing. He broke on it and was gone. Here's another interception, though. Throws it up in the end zone.
And this was pretty much the Beavers' last gasp. That was their last drive, trying to put some points on the board before the time was expiring. And they put a really good drive together, but again, That one right there was I can't remember if it was either Watson or Deshaun Douglas. Like they both of them had multiple interceptions today, but ASU's defense played lights out all game. The offense struggled early, but they also picked it up in the second half. They had a real hard time getting past their opponents, like 35. So they had 4 or 5 drives stall out there. Lots of really short punts to pin them deep and let their defense play. But hey, when your team's greatest strength is your defense, and they do have the top-ranked defense in the nation right now, that's always a viable option. But I will say, whenever the offense was able to score, they did. They took very good care of the ball today. The only turnover they had was on a muff punt, so that's more of a special teams thing. But Zach Bronkhorst threw for over 300 yards, 0 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. Nate Omabayu, the running back who won the LSC's running back of the year, he had like 25 carries for almost 100 yards. So overall, the Rams played great all day. But again, defense shines, and they got their in-conference rival, the Colorado School of Mines, for a rematch next week. Rams won that first one.
Yeah, we already have beat them one time.
Yeah.
We got them once already. So what, you liking their chances?
Well, like that was definitely ASU's biggest test of the season. They did have to travel to Colorado for that game, and of course that's a really long trip way down here in West Central Texas. You know what I mean?
But they got them coming here now.
Yeah, but now they got Colorado School of Mines coming to LeGrand to play next Saturday. So I look to see the environment being a little bit different, but ASU won that first game. Let's see ASU win by a little bit more next week.
Yeah, they're kind of just like Erie County. You know, they started kind of slow, 13-7 at halftime. You know, you're thinking, man, this is supposed to be the number one, you know, maybe not number one. I think they're number 2, I think, when it ended up being
number 2 in the nation, but
number 2.
Number 1 seed.
Number 1 in my heart. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, no, but, you know, you thinking they're going to whoop them, but, you know, it was 13-7, but that Bemidji team was 10-2. That's a pretty good ball club coming into it.
Yeah.
They won a game already in the playoffs.
Right,
So
because
even though you get a bye, you still have to play a really tough team in the first round of the playoffs for this.
Oh yeah, but because ASU got that bye, there are no bad teams left, right? So
Right.
There are a couple low seeds that made it, just kind of like in Texas high school football. There's in that first round, there's always going to be teams that are bounced by like 60, 70 points in the first round. But this is a 10-2 team out of Minnesota. They traveled real well too. They had a nice little crowd there. But yeah. ASU ended up putting it on them.
You think ASU was buying the visitor side seats? You think that's why maybe there was a bunch of people on that side?
No, man, I'm telling you, they were all wearing green. They're all screaming, and there were chants for their team.
gosh.
Like you could tell these guys were from Minnesota. I talked to a couple of them after the game, just because the way I had to go out, they were lining up a tunnel for their players. It looks like a community who really cares about that program. So, I mean, congratulations to Bemidji for making it this far, but you had to run into the number 2 team in the nation.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
They had that Fargo accent.
Right? But yeah, go Rams.
There you go. All right, James, what do you think? You think that they give me your input on this game? What do you think? Do you think that Angelo State can win the national championship this year?
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, everything we're seeing is saying the Rams are for real. You know, they go out and they beat a 10-2 team today, so absolutely they can. It's the school of this.
Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah, and we're not talking people. They're not gonna like
School
put a
of
box.
what?
Yeah, they're not gonna make a
Mines?
box.
Okay.
Yeah, like a mime. We're not gonna, you know, I'm pulling you and stuff, all that. You know.
Yeah, you don't want to run into an invisible wall.
I bet
out
that's
there.
what people really want. The COVER1 mime show.
Right.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right.
just mime all the.
I think it's
Everybody
important.
thinks we're clowns right now.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think
right?
it's
Yeah, there you
important
go.
to note, though, when people were talking about ASU's chance of actually winning a national championship, what is that age-old football adage? Defense wins championships, right?
That's what they got.
Like, I think it's important to note that not only did ASU have 5 takeaways today, they also allowed 1 rushing yard. One.
One.
So like,
Singular.
and it wasn't like it was a blowout in the beginning. So Bemidji was trying to run the ball early. Like they had like 20 rushing attempts, 1 yard. So
That's pretty tough.
What's that average out to?
.001. I don't know. Not very many.
Yeah, well, Angelo State, they got the job done. Speaking of guys who get the job done, Davis Woodfin down there at Edward Jones, He's making sense of investing. Also, right now with a 4.7% APR, brokered CD rates as of November 25th, 2022. 1,000 minimum investment for 12 months. Give him a call, 325-249-0082. That's Davis Woodfin at Edward Jones. He's making sense of investing. All right, guys, moving on to our next game. This one is going to be our last game that we're going to be covering tonight, and it was something that you were at, Chadwick, on Friday. It was sleeting, it was raining, it was cold, and it was the Wall Hawks who took on the Idalou Wildcats. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Kind of early in the game here, big play by Wall. Sack. This is kind of what
Rylan White.
Yep, that was pretty much the entire game. Wall didn't allow very many yards. They swarmed the football all day, created a lot of opportunities to turn the ball over.
7-0 right here, and this was the biggest chance that Idalou probably had to score. Right here, just a laser right there. Gets it on about the 2-yard line. Everyone's thinking, oh, okay, 2-yard line, about to be a 7-7 game, but no, gets the snap, fumbles it, has to back him up to the 20. And what happened there, Chad? Turnover on Towns, I guess?
Yeah, they actually got most of that yardage back, but they went for it from about the 5, and they didn't get it.
Moving on back to Wall side of the field. One of the best kickers in the state of Texas.
That's our boy Pierce Jameson right there. Go vote for that kid.
Go vote for him 3A Kicker of the Year.
Look at that. That's in the 3rd round, making clutch kicks and everything.
Halftime score 10-0 for the Wall Hawks, but after that, they really started to go. Here's right here. That's this.
That's
Can you
Nathan
explain
Pepper.
Can you explain the play there? Was it a triple option down the gut? What do we think? Was it a pass?
Yeah, that was actually just right up the gut. He broke a tackle and then just kind of outran everybody. So that was the first drive out of the locker room after half.
17-0.
Yeah.
Matt, did you really ask if Wall was running the triple option?
No, I just didn't know if he threw
Hey,
the ball or what
to be fair, James, Dillard did have a touchdown pass right there. See?
All right.
Now you're questioning me?
Yeah, Dillard actually had over 100 yards passing in this game. So
hey, look at that. That may be the first time in school history that Wall had over 100 yards passing in a playoff game. We'll have to check that, but I mean, especially this late, it's time to run the football.
Well, it's cold up there. It's cold, nasty. Of course you're going to run the ball.
Heck yeah, and that's kind of what gave them the edge. Here's another breakout run by number 1. And look at him score, reach, jump for it, young man. Oh, touchdown. That's going to be it. Going to make it 30-0.
and I kept trying to get him to look at me right here, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, they're celebrating.
Oh, he'll point at his teammates. What's that about?
Hey, rock, paper,
You
scissors.
want to play rock, paper, scissors with us?
Hey, but whatever,
We
man.
both got to go this game next week.
Yeah.
Get
What a game, though.
up our chances of getting some love from some of these guys.
Yeah, but what a game overall. The Wall Hawks dominated on both sides of the ball. The weather was horrible. It was about 36 degrees the entire time. Wind was blowing. It was raining. It cleared up a little bit around halftime, but it's almost like as soon as the third quarter started, it's like, nah, we're playing football, it's going to rain. So I got wet. I was cold. But it was fun to do because those guys were so excited and they played so well. I will say on offense that they got to clean up that they got bit by the turnover bug a couple times again. But like that can be attributed to as much to the weather. That kind of environment's hard to practice. Like it's not every day that West Texas teams have to deal with cold and rain, right? But
you think? I mean, that's why there were so many games in San Angelo today. There was nothing but games at San Angelo Stadium today because everyone else is getting hail, or not hail, but sleet and snow.
Wasn't it snowing in
Angelo,
Levelland?
The circle. Everyone complains about the circle in the summer. Nobody complains about the circle in the winter when we don't get the snow. Am I right?
I mean, shoot, kids probably have to deal with rain once every 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You get rained out or something, and games get moved. So, who does Wall have next week? Who are we looking at next week?
Wall has Canadian.
Canadian?
So Panhandle football. We'll see. Canadians a pretty good ball club this year. They pretty much beat the brakes off of whoever they played last week. I can't remember who it was, but
Spearman.
Spearman, yeah.
Spearman.
So yeah,
Spearman
that
was a
final
4th
score
seed
was
team.
68-0.
Yeah.
Though. So we got Wall who won 30-0. We got Spearman who won 68-0. I mean, what are we thinking? Who's giving up the first point?
I mean, I honestly think that Spearman was lucky. It was one of those teams that was lucky to get that far. Like, I'm not calling them a bad football team, but they were a 4 seed in their own district. and they played Canadian in the third round of the playoffs. So congratulations to them for making that far, but that's as far as they were going to go. As far as Canadian goes, I know that they're a good football team, but with Wall's defense, I'm definitely giving Wall a chance in this one. Just got to take care of the ball, got to play a good game.
Yeah, looking at Spearman, I think they beat Abernathy in the first round, and that was kind of a surprise. But yeah, at this point, they're all good teams. Looking at Canadian, they have a really good running back, Cameron Cavalier. He's got 700 yards and 10 touchdowns, and this is just in 7 games. And they have a receiver, Preston Miller, number 11. He has in 7 games. He had 38 receptions for 708 yards and 4 scores, and those are like full season numbers at this high school level.
Right.
This team isn't gonna.
Well, they're definitely not going to roll over, and I don't think anyone expects Canadian or Wall to roll over at this point. But I actually got to talk to Houston guy, the coach Houston guy, after the game, and that was the first thing he said. He's like, "It's looking like we got Canadian for next week." So, it's going to be a good game. Canadian is a really good school, but again, so is Wall. Wall is top 10 in the state this year as well. So I'd like to see these guys, make it past that 4th round. Circa 2016, where they're playing in the state semifinals again. So. Well,
and with the realignments, I mean, this is kind of giving them that opportunity, because what we saw when they were up in a little bit bigger districts was, they got to play Brock, they got to play Pilot Point, and they got to play Bushland. Jim Ned. Yeah, I mean, that's tough, but you move down, and now you get, I'm not saying Canadian's an easy team, but, they ran that Childress team, and I thought that Idlewild game was going to be closer.
No.
Yeah,
shut them out. It was that defense, man. I'm telling you, Idlewild didn't have a chance.
And just watching that team, because we've watched them all year. We've watched them from, and we've seen this defense kind of start picking it up, and they're just playing on fire right now.
Swarming the ball.
Dylan Gidney out there is playing well. Brylan White is playing well. Everybody is playing hard. And even Nathan Pepper on offense, he's playing hard. It's just
you guys,
you're peaking at the right
are the
time.
ones that go out there. I mean, their practices are looking like that too, right? They're doing their thing out there too.
Yeah,
sure it goes.
Yeah. Well, every time I go out to Wall, it's real high energy. Everyone's running around everywhere. Even when they get to the point where they're just doing walkthroughs like they were last week during Thanksgiving, it was still everyone's yelling and screaming and they're getting their calls right. And then after the play, they're all coming together. And it's just real high energy. So I know Coach Guy is going to have these guys ready to go against Canadian. He actually told me to come out to practice next week as well to talk to him again. So I don't know if he's got something to show me, or if he just wants more Wall, on film, let's say, on this show.
Coverage.
So yeah, but
we'll
see. Matt, did we get the Houston guy interview on there?
I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Okay. Right.
Coach Guy's been awesome all year.
Yeah.
Even I was going out there every week to talk to him, and he was always open and honest. And the same deal. The practices were, it's just expected at Wall. It's part of that, just that foundation that was laid, and now it's part of the culture out there to be coachable and be, follow the process. And I know it probably sounds like it's not fun or it's cliche or whatever, but that's what these good teams do. They're not just talented kids that, you get into some of these schools where these coaches have been there for a long time, and they just, they play real well all the time. Their coach has a good scheme, and sometimes if you just buy in, good things happen.
Oh, yeah.
You see these schools where people aren't buying in, or the kids just want to go goof off all the time. There's a reason they're bottom feeders. There's a reason they're not playing well. And that's not I'm not saying every team that doesn't play that was 0-10 or 2-8 or whatever was doing that, but
you can tell. Yeah, it comes down to the
right.
foundation that the coaching staff builds. Shoot, I was talking to Coach Guy when all those games were being announced that they were being moved. I think that was Wednesday night, day for Thanksgiving.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I called him and I was like, "Hey, Coach Guy, is Wall gonna move?" And he was like, "Heck no." He's like,
Speaking of that, Chadwick, dude, that was the most I was fired up when you sent that text.
The most
I
Wall
was fired
text,
up.
right? Yeah,
that was a football guy thing. He
said,
said, "No, it's going to be terrible, and we're ready for it."
We're ready for it. And he goes, "Tough teams win tough games," and that quote stuck with me so much that I actually included it in the preview, and I was just like, Coach Guy, I got to quote you on this one. But yeah, that just speaks. That's a testament to the kind of program he's built out there in Wall. The team saw what the weather was going to be, and they just said, "Bring it on," And then they performed. Like I said, they put up another shutout. That's their 5th or 6th shutout this year, I think.
Yeah.
So that defense is rocking and rolling. I think that this game actually pushes their defense to allowing less than 7 points a game at this point. And then, of course, their offense put up 30 for them. So, like I said, I know Canadian's a tough team, but I would not be surprised if we're having this exact same conversation next week, saying Wall's moving on to the 4th round.
Yeah, Wall's 11-1, so they've played 12 games. They've allowed 80 points.
Yep.
So,
all right, and I actually did get to talk to Coach Guy immediately following the game when everyone was celebrating. In fact, he shook my hand and said, "Are we doing an interview?" And I was like, "Yes, sir. Let's get it done." So here's head coach Houston Guy.
All right, I'm here with head coach Houston Guy. Wallhawks win today, 30-0 over Idalou. Coach, talk to me about your team's performance today.
From the very beginning, they were locked in all week long, and they've done a great job. We've been out of school, so our routine's been a little bit different. These guys have been putting in the work, putting in the hours, spending extra time on film. We were super excited the way they played today, all phases of the game.
All right, Coach, the score was close at halftime. Was there a message to the guys in the locker room? Because y'all really came out in the second half and just put it on them.
We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to play great defense. We're going to play ball control offense. We're going to finally get that ball in the end zone, and we're going to separate ourselves from those guys.
All right, Coach, your quarterback got a touchdown pass today. What was that like?
That's what I told him. I said, heck, we even threw passes today. Good job. No, he did a fantastic job running the option, controlling the ball, and then he got some completions that'll give us confidence up, allow him to throw that ball a little bit more.
Okay, Coach, y'all made it past the 3rd round, into the 4th round this year. It's the first time in a while. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to your to y'all as a football team?
It's one of those things. This is one of the stages that we want to be on. This is the first stage that we want to be on. We're going to hopefully continue on, but we got a big game next week with Canadian, it sounds like, and so we're going to go home and start getting prepared for those guys tonight.
Okay, Coach. Well, hopefully we see y'all in Arlington this year.
That'd be sweet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you what, talking to Coach Guy after a pretty dominant win is always fun, but not as real sometimes as Coach Guy after a loss. He really puts it to his team, the other team, and everything when he's given a post-game interview whenever Wall doesn't play as well. But again, congratulations to those Wall Hawks out there. Y'all played great. I'm sure it was cold, but that's something that y'all will never forget. And good luck next week against Canadian. Actually found out the game's going to be in Lubbock next Friday at Lubbock Cooper's Stadium out there. So it's going to be on the south side of Lubbock if y'all want to come check it out. I know I'll be there. So, yeah, congratulations, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
You're supposed to say, so watch it on San Angelo Live.
So watch it on San Angelo Live and tune in to Cover One.
We're still learning Chadwick up on the whole plug-in
6, 8, and 10 o'clock.
There you go. All right, guys, I want to let you guys know about this sweet, sweet, sweet deal that's going on at the Autoplex. Right now it's their Black Friday savings. I know Black Friday's already ended, but we're going to move on and keep celebrating through November 30th. This will be a great... Chadwick, wouldn't you love a 2022 Dodge Challenger or a Charger XST and GT?
I mean, yes, it's a beautiful car.
That would be awesome. That's right. And if you're a Texas resident and you go get it done, you get $2,500 in cash allowance and no payments for 90 days. So guess what? You can still buy all the kids' Christmas stuff because you're not making any payments for 90 days. Go see the what they got over there at the Autoplex there at Sherwood Way in Southwest, or go visit them online and check out their inventory at allamericanchryslersanangelo.com, only at the Autoplex in San Angelo. All right, guys, moving on. We've kind of covered all of our games, but I do have some news. The Sonora Broncos game has ended. It is final, and it was not a good ending if you're a Sonora Broncos fan. And for that, I will go ahead and take it back to Ernesto Rodriguez so he can finish it up. Here's Ernesto.
That is the final, 57-26. Holly Bearcats over the Broncos. It was all Holly in this game. They were up big by halftime, and just continued not to allow Sonora to get things together. The Broncos fought hard in this game. They tried everything they could, but unfortunately just didn't have enough to stop the passing game, which is pretty much how Holly solidified the lead. They just continued to take shots down the field, and these passes, even though there were defenders, the Holly receivers just outmatched them. And as you can see, the final score there, it was all Holly. Sonora did what they could do. They tried to fight as hard as they could. Unfortunately, it's the end of the line for them in the playoffs, but Holly will continue as an undefeated team. We'll see if Holly continues to dominate the rest of the competition, but just wanted to say that's the final there here at San Angelo Stadium, and thank everyone for watching Cover 1.
Yeah, so Sonora, man, had a really great season. One of the best defenses I've seen for Sonora in a very, very long time. At least as far as I've been covering, probably the best defense that I've seen. James, you're a real big fan of them, and you were pretty beat up when we were starting this show because you're like, man, there may not be hope. But what are some of the good things that we can talk about for this Sonora team that we're going to be moving on to next year with?
One thing, I went down there and I interviewed some of them. Their quarterback, Butron, their center, Samiego, their receiver, playmaker, Edgar DeLuna. That's it. I got it.
No, ball player
smart.
Right there, dude. He had a nasty stiff arm today.
If you've watched all three of those games that they've played in the playoffs, he can play football. He probably had 200 tackles on the season. I mean, he's just a ball magnet. He's just a damn good football player. They're all juniors, though. So they're returning. Their team was kind of young. They're returning a lot next year. And take the positive things you did from this game and, look at it and reflect on it. And it sucks that it happened like this.
But you hung 26 on them. I mean, that's...
And yeah, let's not act like Holly
They didn't get whooped. Like, Spearman got whooped, right, by Canadian 68-0. I've been on that. Look up Leveland, Abilene, Wiley. That's whooped. But if 56 to 27, that's not that bad.
Holly's been whooping on everybody so far.
I mean, shoot.
What
was the Cristobal score? That was
52-8, yeah. And then it was 72-20 something. I mean, Holly has a very good quarterback in Hooper. They've got a very good running back in Crumpton. They've got Deontay Ramon, Shanlin Meyer, Case No Shields, Will Scott. Those are all fantastic players. And they have all these guys on offense. It's almost like, who do you we hear that all the time, even when you're talking about either high school, college, or pros. You hear about, who are you going to throw at? We've got this other guy. They actually have it. They actually have all these guys. And they remember that what was it? Was his Doug Brooks run? Was that the Doug Brooks run where he just went out there and abused? And these are still children. These are still
both of them. They were animals.
Yeah, we have the clip somewhere, but them Brooks brothers are just monsters, and he just beast moded it down the field. And don't think that Holly doesn't remember that. That's in their minds. They want to go back and play again. They want to go win it this year, and all power to you. Y'all have the team to do it. Coach Abels does a really good job up there. Those guys, he's got a really talented team, and he's coaching good. Next week they've got Cisco, which is a district matchup. They beat them earlier in the year. Cisco was actually up like 33-30 at one point, and then I think on like a last-second touchdown, Holly ended up winning it. So this could be a really, really good one coming up.
You know what that reminds me of? Miles versus Sterling City.
It reminds me of
Sterling City won. The one who lost in the regular season.
Sonora only. So yeah. But
we'll see what happens.
Congrats to Sonora. Congrats to Sonora. Hey, you got hot at the right time of the year, and you hit the playoffs running, and you played really good teams. I mean that
played more games than most people.
And region, that region 1 or district 1 plays district 2, and I don't know if that's y'all. I think that is, but that's just a tough one. That's a really hard one to play in. You're going and playing Holly, Cisco, Stanford only, and they're playing Forsan, Cristobal, Sonora. Those are
Yeah.
Really,
I mean, yeah.
going up north, going up to I-20, that's tough.
But at the end of the day, you're still area champs. It's a successful season. This is just something that Coach Weston can build off of. Like,
That's his second year there, too.
Right?
It's only his second year
this
there.
is great things for the Sonora program as a whole. They strung together like a couple wins when earlier in the season we didn't think they'd be anything.
No, and they lost to Kahoma early in the season. He called me at like 9 o'clock the next morning and said, "Man, we just didn't play good." They lost to Reagan County. I went down there that week and talked to him. "Hey, man, what happened?" "Man, we just we had a few turnovers. We didn't play really good." So he knows what's wrong. Hey, we just didn't play good. We had turnovers. So that's something that they need to maybe focus on cleaning up. They had a couple turnovers in this one. And
2 fumbles in the first half.
So yeah, you know what you need to work on. You know what your guys need to work on. Obviously, though, you got more sports coming up, and let your kids play whatever they want to play. That only makes them better athletes. So, once track season gets over with, you'll be back at football, and you'll go football all off season long. So
we'll do it again.
Coach Weston,
Exactly.
come bring your boys to San Angelo and run the San Angelo relays this year. So we can go
I would call you right now,
go.
but I don't want to.
All right, guys. Well, another our last sponsor I want to mention tonight, of course, is Angelo Bolton Industrial Supply. The Thanksgiving holiday break is the best time to get some stuff done around the house, and what better place to go for all your hardware than Angelo Bolton Industrial Supply? They're over there at 808 Warehouse Drive. Go see them today. That's Angelo Bolton and Industrial Supply. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and do one last final thought for everybody, and Ryan, we will start with you.
All right, I'm just going to go the full college football route here today. Congratulations to the Angelo State Rams. This is something that I've been really excited to cover this season. I finally got my chance to be on the field today. Shout out to ASU for giving me that media pass. Had a great time. It's just a totally different experience than high school. Those boys are big. You really feel those hits whenever they're coming in. And ASU's defense is so good this year that I legitimately think that you'll have a chance for a national championship. So good luck next week against Colorado School of Mines. Get the job done and get closer to McKinney in a national championship. As for Wall, I will be there rooting y'all on in Lubbock next week. It's my old stomping grounds as well. So get it done, guys. Beat Canadian.
All right, James, final thoughts.
Yeah, congratulations to Wall. I wish we'll be out there this week, though. Maybe Chadwick and I will both come out and get you some coverage this week. Sonora, Coach Weston, congratulations on a great season, guys. Butron, O'Bannon, DeLuna, all those guys. There's so many to name. I can't name them all. Congratulations, guys. You played great. Yeah, I know it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. Erie County, congratulations, guys. Y'all were more than grateful to talk to me after the game, and that's awesome. I'm happy y'all won. Got practice this week, clean it up a little bit. Go get yourself a win next week, and go to Jerry World. Other than that, shout out to the Fry family. They're kind of my second family up there in Brownwood. That I appreciate Misty making me take a turkey sandwich that came in clutch here at the show, and I love y'all. Y'all are awesome. So thanks, guys.
All right. My final thought, it's our Thanksgiving show, so I'm going to be a little thankful. I'm thankful for James. I'm thankful for Ryan and Joe and Ernesto and Jake and everybody for the San Angelo Live
Way to
crew.
make us look
I'm
selfish,
also
man.
thankful for you guys who are watching this all the way to the end. We still have about 15 people watching all the way through, so I want to thank all those guys watching. But you know what I'm really thankful for? I'm really thankful for good football, and that's what we have in the Concho Valley this weekend, especially with the Wall Hawks winning by 30. The Erie County Hornets winning by 1, but like we say, the scoreboard doesn't matter. It's all about the W column. And, of course, I was right about the last one.
Yeah, but you were wrong about Wall.
But I was. Don't
Come
let
on,
anyone
man.
forget. I'm also thankful about being wrong about Wall, because I said they were going to lose, but that was being a homer, I guess. But they're going to have to go back to Lubbock, so that's going to be a really good game. I'm really excited to see that one. Guys, this has been the COVER1 Thanksgiving show. Like I said, for all of us, we're really thankful that you'd like to tune on to us, because we're the only local guys left giving you local news from local people. like us, even though me and Chadwick, spend a lot of time in Lubbock, but that kind of helps us out anyways.
Hey, I went to Central.
Hey, yeah, that's right. There you go. Well, guys, for all of us here at Cover 1, we thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next Friday as the playoffs